So we're going to start by just talking about different terminology, and we'll really roll from there. So there's two forms of trading that is going to be most commonplace. People refer to spot trading and or perpetuals trading. Spot trading is what I personally really like, and that's what I generally go with as a spot trading account. When you talk about spot trading, you're talking about actually physically buying the actual baseline asset. You are buying Solana, you are buying Bitcoin, you are buying dollar, you are buying euro. You're physically owning that actual asset. A spot contract and spot trading has a lot of value overall. You know, when you buy spot and you purchase the actual asset, there's a wealth of things that you can do with that actual asset. Like Solana, you can stake it, for example. US dollars, you can put it in a savings account, which we all know is shitty returns, but you can let that actual asset go to work for you. You're trading something that is, in our world, like a tangible sort of asset. So when we say spot contract or spot trading, that's what we're actually talking about, is physically purchasing or selling the asset, Bitcoin, Ethereum, whatever it is. Now, Mode has this listed as contract. Usually we refer to them as perpetuals. Perpetuals is a different form of trading that you're trading strictly against the price action of the asset. You don't physically own the asset. You don't physically own anything other than that contract where you're taking a speculative bet or trade that reflects the price action. Contracts and perpetuals are really good value for people, I would say generally more skilled trading, because there's a little bit more complexity that goes into perpetuals trading. You can really easily get wrecked, adding a bunch of leverage or things like that. But perpetuals contracts, I would say, is definitely the second phase of trading. It is what we generally have to work with on chain. Outside of centralized exchanges, you do find, and you do generally find a lot of trading volume on perpetuals contracts. There's platforms such as like Didex and Drift on Solana. Most of the volume on decentralized exchanges are running in perpetuals contracts. When you do trade perpetuals contracts, you'll either do one of two things. You'll go long or you'll go short. When you go long, you're saying, I expect the price to go up from here. When you go short, you're saying, I expect the price to go down from here. And, we can get into the nitty gritty if you want to, but essentially you profit if you make the correct choice. If price go up and you're in a long, you'll actualize gains. If price go down while you're in a short, you'll also actualize gains. Now, here's the one that we're going to cover, and I don't know what Mode really, suggests all the time. And you'll find very quickly that there's a ton of different ways to trade. Everyone has what they consider the secret sauce. And if you're trading constantly, then you'll find your own method and your own strategy that works for you. And for me, that is not using leverage. I am a spot trading maxi. Because I'm so busy, doing CyberFrog stuff and building in the background, I don't have a ton of time to be in riskier trades. And so spot is a really great option for me because I can set it, forget it, and I take the biggest delta trades that we have and I go from there. I hope you guys took that render call, which is currently up like 30% or something like that. That thing was. So leverage is essentially, adding a multiplier to your capital and to the trading price action. When you start talking about leverage, you're essentially using money that you don't actually have. And so with that being said, if the price goes the right direction for your trade, you will get more of a return using leverage. And the inverse of that is if the price goes the wrong way from your trade, then you're going to be penalized much more heavily, given that you've taken essentially borrowed funds. And so with that in mind, as you guys are really starting to learn how to trade you're finding the best strategy for yourself, I always encourage, really limiting your use of leverage. The easiest thing and the most common thing that we see is people coming in and saying, hey, oh yeah, okay, you guys are saying Thor fucks and you've got a 70% hit rate. Well, I'm going to degen leverage trade everything. And that's a really easy way to get wrecked if you don't really have that strategy or that risk management in place. And so, this is covering the very absolute basics: spot and perpetuals, and then leverage. You can trade spot with leverage. I personally don't do that because it's just not in my strategy, but you can. They'll offer 3x and 5x leverage. So when the price volatility or the price action moves, you'll have either amplified earnings or amplified losses in that front.